Welcome to Kayan Frequency, where we explore how mind, body, and culture connect in the evolving landscape of wellness in the UAE. I'm Heidi, part of the Kayan Wellness Festival core team, and today we are diving into a topic that is gaining popularity in the region and we all want to know a little bit more about. Whether you're just getting started or you're already deep in the biometric game and you're tracking everything, today's topic will really give us a lot of insight and our guest will provide us with the knowledge that we're just itching to find out. Joining me today is CJ Malhotra, better known as Shift with CJ. And let me just give you the prestigious CV we have with us. A biohacker, a performance coach, and a longevity expert who's helping people live sharper, longer, healthier lives. Thank you for joining us today, CJ.
Thank you for having me. That's a good introduction.
Thank you. You saw me practicing earlier. So, CJ, today the hot topic is biohacking. I know I have a host of questions, and thank God you're here because I need all my answers. So, before we get into it, I think let's break the ice with a lightning round to just figure out where you stand on some topics. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, morning ice bath or evening sauna?
Both.
No, you have
Starting-
to pick one.
Let me tell the audience what's the optimal thing to do.
Okay.
You start in the morning with a cold. This enhances your dopamine systems. It gives you the wake me up. Much better than coffee, 250 times more dopamine. And then in the evening, you shut and wind down with a sauna routine. Especially the infrared saunas, the heat goes into your muscles, your cells, it relaxes you, and you get a best sleep of your life.
Okay.
So both.
So both. We're not giving up either one of them. Okay, fine. Next one. Sleep tracker or fitness tracker?
Sleep tracker.
Sleep tracker. Why?
Because you can always like out train a bad lifestyle, but like if you don't sleep well and you don't know how your sleep is, you will never be able to recover from that. This is for longevity, for your performance at the gym or your wellness, your focus at work. Sleep is the pillar on top of which all other health pillars are stable. So we need to know about our sleep.
Fair enough. I'm convinced. This time we will try to make them more lightning. I'm really here for the
okay.
insights, but like, okay. Keto or intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting,
Coffee or matcha?
coffee,
Meditation or breathwork?
meditation,
As a fitness indicator, glucose fasting or HRV?
HRV,
Oh, okay. Supplements or superfoods?
superfoods.
Superfoods. I had a feeling. Okay, now we need to dive a little bit deeper into some of these.
Let's do it.
Why HRV over fasting, like glucose fasting?
So let's understand what both are for your audience. HRV is heart rate variability. Okay. You know, when we talk about our heart is beating 70 beats per minute, it's 70 beats per minute. It's like duk, 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 duk. If you hear the sound, it's like this.
Yeah.
But really what's happening is that it's not like duk, duk. It's duk, 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 duk. There are intervals or variations between these beats. And
Okay.
those intervals or variations can tell us how well we are recovered, how well our central nervous system is recovered, and how much do we need to push on that day or take it easy that day. And so HRV is a very good indicator for cardiometabolic health, your stress levels, your any like how serious you need to take your fitness routine or how to taper it down. This is really good information. If you know about your HRV, you can avoid heart attacks as well. But on the other side, you asked about fasting glucose, which means when your body is fasting, what is your blood sugar doing? Okay. It's also a good indicator, but not for everyone. Because let's say, for example, if your fasting blood glucose is high, you can just go for a walk, it'll come down. You can drop
Right.
down and do 10 push-ups, it's going to come down.
Right.
So it's not that big of a deal because it's under your control. And most likely, if you adopt a healthy lifestyle, if you are a biohacker or you're inspired by anything related to wellness, then chances are your fasting blood glucose will be under control. But the HRV is the issue because most of us, especially, you know, we're living in a country like UAE where we have two fast cities, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And people in these cities like to push themselves. Sometimes we push ourselves way too much and we don't have brakes on. Like it's very easy to go from a 0 to 100, but it's very difficult to go from 100 to 90.
Right.
That's where HRV comes in. and it's like literally a notification for you saying that you need to slow down.
It gives you more insight into the bigger picture that's happening. With glucose, it's kind of like a specific thing. It has to do with just the intake that's going into your body, how much
Correct.
you have, where it's the HRV.
It's more manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more manageable because sometimes HRV can tell you future events that are going to happen. So let's say, for example, if we are starting our week on a Monday
Okay.
and your HRV is super low, there could be a huge possibility that you're going to come up with like a flu or a virus in the next 4 to 5 days. So you don't get sick on the day itself. You get sick days before. And the first thing that's going to happen is that your HRV is going to drop. If you haven't trained or you're not stressed out or you're not sleeping or like all of these parameters are in check, then you can ask the question, why is my HRV dropping so much?
Right.
And if you like figure it out properly, you'll see that there's something in the body that is not in balance. And then you can start looking for those things.
It's like, I imagine a lot of people would freak out, especially with all the technology that we have nowadays. Like, you know, you're tracking your steps, your heart rate, your sugar, everything really. You could freak out. In your opinion, do you think there's a level where it's something that is concerning and you should look into? Like, is there like a default setting? This may be a little bit more on the medical side of things, but maybe there's a general rule of thumb for like the average like tech user or someone who is trying to improve their health overall.
See, for me, what is important, the way I look at it is that anything that you track, you should be able to change it. So if you have any power or influence or intention of changing something, track it. But if you're just tracking things for, you know, oh, how many steps am I doing? And you're not going to do any steps that day. Or, you know, how much is my fasting blood glucose, but you're still like eating sugar. You don't have a reason to change it, or you don't have any internal motivation to change it. There's no point tracking it. It's just a lot of noise. So you just need to know what is important in your life and what are you able to influence. And then just pick one or two things. Don't be confused. There's too much, like with everything these days, there's too much of noise. Find the right signal.
Okay, I'll find the right signal is nice. Yeah. So there is so much to research and want to learn about when it comes to biohacking. I don't think it's something that someone needs an interest in biology or health in general to get into. How did you get into biohacking? Like, what was the start for you?
It's a long story. You want to hear it?
I'm ready. I'm here. I'm seated.
I'll do a short version of it.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, I grew up in UAE and I was obese and bullied in school. So I was looking for a way out of not getting beaten up at school every day and people making fun of me. And I was like, okay, perfect. Let me see the what's the best way. Now, one of the best ways was to get in shape. So I looked at a lot of fitness things. I also looked into a lot of martial arts. So that's how my health journey started. Then I was very curious. So I was trying to this is back in the day where computers existed, but I don't think we had access to them.
Yeah.
And the internet was this old dial-up thing that you cannot search anything on. And if someone else called you in that same house, then the internet would shut off.
Yeah, it was over.
So for us, it was more like you walk up on the street or you go to the gym or you meet someone and this person exhibits a amount of confidence that you want to have, or looks in a certain way or talks in a certain way. For me, it was always helpful to just go and ask the person, hey, I just love what you're saying or doing or how you look. Can you please teach me?
Tell me everything. Exactly.
I'm really struggling. Like, please, can you help me out?
Yeah.
And then most people were kind enough. The only thing is, like, back in the day, no one really knew what they were doing.
That's
so
true.
they would like, I'm using this or I'm trying this or I'm trying this. And I'm like, I'm going to try all of it. So
all of the above.
Exactly.
Select all.
So we did the select all experiments and some of them failed, some of them didn't fail. And that was like me doing so many experiments and coming closer to biohacking. And then one fine day we looked at multiple things and then I was introduced to some technology and I was like, oh, this thing biohacking is a word right now, but I've been doing this like nearly all my life.
Yeah.
I guess I started very early.
You know, it's interesting, I find, and even like with Kayan and everything, when we talk to people and when we're looking at who we want to target, who we want to introduce to wellness, for a lot of people, the start of the wellness journey is fitness. You could argue maybe it comes from a vanity perspective or it comes from just wanting to take care of your health and just improve it. So for you, it was through fitness that you got into
Correct.
all of it. And you started gym primarily.
Yeah,
thing?
martial arts. Yeah, so I started gym, then moved on to weightlifting, a little bit of running, CrossFit, MMA, lots of things. And then I realized that because I always had an aspiration. It was the like looking in a certain shape so people don't make fun of me. Okay, check. And I was like, oh, I'm still not satisfied. It's like, okay, maybe if I like do some competitions or win something or people like clap and
Right.
applaud for me, I'll be happy. Got there, didn't find happiness. It's like, okay, so I got all of these things wrong. What is the next thing to do? And if you see, like in different countries, like especially at that time, I was traveling around Vietnam and India as well. And I saw that people who aren't in shape, who don't have enough money, but they're still really happy and they have this joyful smile on their face.
Right.
It's like, I want to get that.
Yeah.
So I started looking at a lot of these ancient wisdom as well. Like I do a lot of biohacking, but like in my heart, I always respect like what is going on for thousands of years. And
Right,
like
of
I always
course.
tell people, biohacking is exactly what your grandmom told you to do, but with technology. You sleep on time, you eat the right stuff, you breathe fresh air, you have good relationships, you don't get angry. This is all what our great grandmoms have been telling us all the time. You eat at home, don't eat outside. But now, because we've gone busy, some of these elements we can't do, or we can do better with technology. So I always put it as biohacking is better living through science.
Right.
And that's what all of us want to do, right? All of us just want to do one thing. We want to live better. And now
Yeah.
I think there are ways that you can explore. Biohacking is not the end all be all.
Yeah.
It's not the magic pill, but it's one way to look at things.
Right. So even the word like biohacking, I'm reading your shit. So to me, it's always become now hacking, not hacking.
Yeah.
So when it comes to biohacking, right, it's even in the word. It's like biology and hacking your biology. We're always obsessed with like a quick fix or a hack or something. I know it's not exactly what it is. Usually you're just caught by a word and then you realize there's much more work that goes into it. But if you were to pick like the very first hack that really got you interested in this.
For me, it was blue light blocking. So, yeah. So, at the beginning of biohacking, I was learning a lot about like circadian rhythms and circadian architecture and how like lights in our environment have a deep effect on our biology. And the more I got to learn about it, I was surprised that, we're living in times where mobile phones are on all the time, lights on the television are on, laptops, all of these lights are really like toxic for us. So the first thing I did, because at that time, like I was like, okay, what is the first thing that I can do? So the first low hanging fruit that I did was to invest in a pair of blue light blocking glasses. And I used to wear it everywhere. And like I used to get, again, made fun of. They were like, oh, look at that guy, like wearing these orange and red glasses in parties. And
It's a look. They
yeah,
didn't understand. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't understand it then. But now I keep getting messages from people. They're like, you know what? I heard on TV all those things that you were talking about. I was like, okay.
They have to once it's
8 or
on
10 years too
TV.
late.
Literally. Oh my gosh. It's literally once something becomes mainstream, that's
Yeah,
when it's like in. Absolutely.
correct.
So technology is heavily involved when it comes to biohacking, right? But you also mentioned the whole looking to the past and like it's what your grandmother did, it's what your ancestors did. I imagine there's a balance of natural and holistic ways to go about biohacking and a bit of the technology. Do you yourself keep a balance of both? Is there one you'd pick over the other?
No, I wouldn't say it's like, I wouldn't pick one or the other. You use the right word called balance. Buddha was a big proponent of this as well. He was always talking about the middle way. Aristotle was also talking about this thing. I think a lot of the people who we consider to be enlightened or smart always have told us the importance of balance. Also, my grandmom. But there are so many different cultures in the world.
Okay.
What would our 10,000 generations in the past, 10,000-year-old generations in the past have done? Most of the times, whatever things they do, you can still apply it into your life. Now, the only problem is we're living in modern cities which don't allow you to do it much easily. Let's give you an example.
Okay.
we know that the earth is full of these negative electrons. Have you ever heard that you should remove your shoes and walk barefoot?
It is a recent thing I heard, and I was like, what is this propaganda? Why?
Me and three other friends at the Kayan Festival last year or this year, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this year we were like removing our shoes and we were walking around. Why? Because lightning hits the planet 10,000 times per second. And this fills the core of the planet with these things called negative electrons.
Right.
And every time we are next to these cameras or Wi-Fi or we touch our phones, we build up a lot of like positive electrons, which are very damaging for us. So the body needs to find a way to release those. The best way to release them is when you touch a rock, when you remove your shoes and walk on the beach or on the garden, the earth absorbs this because it's a gigantic way of like sucking up these electrons and moving your body with the positive ones. But if you see everyone in this room, all of us, and most of the times you will not be doing that because right now we're on the 4th floor, sometimes you're on the 30th floor.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Now, a biohacker's approach to this would be like looking at grounding mats. So these are mats that can contain the same kind of negative electrons. You plug it into your building or in your villa right to the ground, and then you can all the day get these negative electrons. So when you're working, you can put your feet on them and get these negative electrons all the time. This is just a way of doing it. When I was traveling through different countries, and one of the things I used to love doing is going and talking to these tribes people, and like I would always tell them, like most of the times they didn't understand English and we had a translator.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, can you tell me like what you guys have been doing for hundreds or thousands of years? What's your like, every place has some secrets that have been passed down from generations to lineages. And I was like, hey, tell me something really exciting, what have you guys been doing? Why are you so like healthy? And one of the things that everyone does is that they wake up really early in the morning. They wake up really early in the morning and try this. If you wake up and look at the sun rising and you see the sun setting, okay, for the first week, it will be a bit uncomfortable because we're not used to waking up so early. But after that, you will unlock a new level of energy in you. I've tried this experiments with hundreds of people and everyone reports the same thing. I was very curious about this myself. So I remember I was in Japan in one of these scientific conferences and I asked this question. I was like, hey, because at that time I was trying to find out do the East know, or like what do the Eastern cultures or the ancient cultures know, and where does it stand with Western medicine? I was trying to find a balance, and they told me that every time the sun is rising or is setting, you see the sky to be like orange, red, and pink.
Right.
Okay, that's the time. That's the only time, 7 to 8 minutes every day, you get this influx of red and near infrared light. And these lights, basically, they unlock 20% more energy within your cells. All NASA uses this in space with all of their astronauts. They use it with plants and is shown as one of the biological signals for your body to kind of flood your cells with many nutrients, but mostly with energy. Now, most of us like wake up after sunrise, or we are in the car, or we are, at work.
Some of us at noon, some of us, later in the day.
Yeah. But what can you do? So NASA doesn't take the sun upstairs, right? Like they have some technology. So there are these panels that you can use. They're called photo biomodulation.
Okay.
Photo means light.
Yeah.
Bio means biology. And modulation means to modulate or to influence something. So it's the science of influencing your body with light. Okay. Many people have been using it for the longest period of time. The Egyptians, they used to have like the sun god Ra. So we know that these lights have some kind of a power on us.
Yeah.
Now, in the modern day, I have a red light therapy panel in my office. I have it in my bedroom, and I can simulate the same thing without ever stepping outside. Not to say that I shouldn't. I always wake up for sunrise.
Yeah.
But here are some ways that you can hack the modern environment. So that's why I say better living through science, because we're not changing the universal fundamentals of this planet. Okay? All of us, from the animals to us to other creatures, we are all made with the same life codes.
Right.
Okay. And we all respond to certain information, signals, frequencies.
Frequencies, yes.
So the question is, the more you understand about them, you can find a way to accelerate them or to reduce them. And biohacking is just like exploring what's really working in the real world and how can we recreate that.
Right. So that is a good connection too, because it sort of solves a problem of just, which is ironic considering it uses technology. We're so far ahead into the modern society that we're living in, and how we've lost a little bit of touch and the benefits that we get from these practices that people before us used to do and benefit them greatly. And we wonder, like, why am I so tired? Why do I have this headache? Why is that? So that's where biohacking comes in,
Correct.
embracing the modern, but bringing back some of that, or those original elements that add.
Correct. I mean, at the end of the day, we can do our best to describe it, but it's just a word, biohacking. It could be something else, and
Yeah.
as long as it follows the same principle,
Right.
I think we should be focusing more on the core principles of what it's trying to show. Whether it's called biohacking or something else, the word doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What is the truth behind the word is what
Is
we
what we-
should be looking for.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you've lived in the UAE your whole life. Do you think that living in the UAE specifically has changed your perspective or influenced it when it comes to wellness in general and longevity?
Yes, I would say so, because city specifically, I've lived in Dubai, and it's fast paced, but it's also very ambitious.
Right.
It has this go-getter energy. Okay. And when it has this go-getter energy, a lot of the people who are kind of using this energy to even be better in their health, in their relationships, in their work as well. So I think a lot of, you can see it already, like most in UAE or in Dubai, you see so many fit people. Like it's very common to see.
Yep.
But if you go into other countries, it's probably not.
Less fit.
Less fitter people. Less people going to the gym. You'll see here, like in one area, you can find like 10 or 15 gyms. Why? Because there is demand for it.
True.
Because people want to exercise. People want to go for Pilates. People want to go for yoga. Let's not put it under like fitness and gym, but people want to go out and do things. There are run clubs, there are swim clubs, there are cycling clubs. There's so much movement here because people understand how good it is to move and how good it is to kind of like get into all of these activities. So that's a huge influence because most people are a product of their environment.
True.
So if the environment and people around you, they usually say you're the best or you're the average of the 5 close people around you.
Yes.
But imagine if I had 5 close people who all went to the gym. That's why I went to the gym.
That's why you ended up, yes.
But if I had 5 close people and they had 5 close people and no one was even interested in fitness,
Yeah.
then
It's
probably it wouldn't.
predetermined.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So it had a huge influence.
No, I can imagine. And it's true because I think, sometimes when there's an element missing, it pushes you to want to do more. Some could say, like, the weather might be a little difficult, but I feel like that would push you to find new things to do.
Let me give you a perfect example.
Okay.
So we all know that the weather is really hot here right now, right? And most of the people, if you think about running outside, you're like, oh my God, no. What does the government of the UAE do? They start marathons.
Yeah.
Last week, I did a 10K in Mall of the Emirates. And before that, I did a 10K in Dubai Mall. And this was my friends calling me every day. We have to wake up at 7:30 or 8. We have to go there. And then we'll go for breakfast and carry on our plans.
Yeah.
But you see the entire design of the city where there we have Dubai Fitness Challenge or, so many sports that are going on in Abu Dhabi as well.
Yep.
The government and the rulers of this country are also pushing for it. And that's amazing because they also know what are the benefits of movement. Just everyone's happy. Once you go for like a tiny run, your endorphins are high, your blood flow is going to your brain. You have more these things called brain derived neurotropic factors. So your ability to learn, your ability to regulate emotions or nerve growth factors, your ability to chill increases. And in a world like where there's so much information, so many things to do, so many notifications, if you can just chill out, life is good.
Life is great.
So yeah, movement is the key.
No, that's true. Okay. Since you dug a little bit deeper into, it was a very complicated word for me, but the one word that you do mention a lot and something that you talk about is mitochondrial energy. What was the aha moment behind that kind of changed your approach and strategy when it came to just wellness in general?
So I think this happened a long time back. I was focused on like muscles, let's say.
Right.
Oh, I have got to get bigger muscles. I have to get sharper muscles. And then it became like, oh, I need to focus on my cardiovascular health because this is important. And then I got introduced to this concept of the mitochondria, which basically is, so you have a cell, and inside the cell, there are organelles. And one of the organelles that produces over 90 or 95% of the energy that we make to even breathe for our heart to circulate blood is the mitochondria.
Yes.
And we have trillions and trillions of them in every cell, not in the body, trillions in the cell.
In each and every cell.
Yes.
Wow.
And how many cells do we have? Some argue 75 trillion cells. So you can just multiply. It's an enormous number. And I got to learn that everything that I'm doing can be enhanced if I enhance the mitochondrial function. I was like, there we go. That's it. This is the new target.
Everything you do can enhance.
Everything. The way you meditate, how fast can you get into meditation? To how fast can you forgive someone? To how fast can you go and achieve something? To how fast can you run? To how deeper you can sleep? Everything is governed by your mitochondria. So I was like, that's the best place to start then, because if I can fit, they say if you're building something, focus on the most basic part.
Yeah,
and
the foundation.
Exactly. The key or the foundation to every cell is the mitochondria. So that's why I got obsessed with it a long time back. Now I'm not so obsessed with it, but yeah, some time back I was super obsessed
Now
with it.
it's more of an honorable mention, the
Yes.
the powerhouse of the cell.
Correct.
Okay, so you have worked with a lot of different kinds of people, right? You have worked with founders, other fellow biohackers. You have worked with people who just want to be high performing in their own individual lives. What do you think is the most, I would say, like popular, not strategy, but like tool that they would use, or like protocol amongst these people? Or trends even that you see a lot of people are interested in these days?
So one of the things that is the foundation for everyone that I work with is their sleep. So if you can fix your sleep, half of your problems are already taken care of. If you can go to bed at the right time, and then you can wake up at the right time, and in between you can get some uninterrupted sleep, because that's where most of the biological processes, every cell, every tissue, every organ is regenerating and giving you all of these different hormones. Everything's happening in the night. So if you can take care of that, that's the best place to start. But yeah, once you fix your sleep, you fix your energy, you fix your mitochondria, then there are like these other unlocks that you can have that everyone doesn't even want to, because again, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. Those are things like in the tool reign is the infrared saunas, the hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Sometimes a cold plunge can do it. So all of these tools are really, really good, which are the top of the top people are using it. Pulse electromagnetic field therapy is one as well. So
tell me a bit about that, because that's new to me specifically.
Have
I'm
you
like,
heard
I know
about
the red light.
PEMF?
PEMF, okay, the acronym sounds a little bit more familiar.
So it's called Pulse Electromagnetic Field Therapy. And the idea is that this is one of the other things that is being used in spaceships in NASA.
Okay.
Because as soon as the astronauts they leave Earth, they are not connected to the ground, so they completely start losing their bone mass, their weight, their brain starts shrinking. And one of the ways to kind of like stimulate an Earth environment outside of Earth is with PEMF. So it's called pulsed, which means the energy keeps pulsing. Electromagnetic, that means the Earth has an electromagnetic field. And technology or energy, PEMF. Or frequency, let's say. Let's say frequency.
Let's say frequency. You're on brand.
Yeah,
Amazing.
So PEMF is really good. You can have it in, some people use PEMF mats, some people have different accessories, but PEMF just means a technology. Every time you're at Earth, if you're walking, the Earth is vibrating at a frequency of 7.83 hertz, which is a Schumann resonance. Okay. The more closer you go to a tree, this frequency increases. The more closer you go to a mountain, this frequency increases again. These are biofields. And certain frequencies are linked to enhancing certain conditions. Like you have a stomachache with certain frequencies, you can heal yourself. You have just generally like microcirculation issues, which 95% of us have. Again, it can be healed with this. It opens up the cells, spins the motor in the cells, so there's more energy on the other side.
So this is some of the science that I imagine to like someone who's new to wellness, when they tell you there is sound healing, especially the kind that focuses on the different frequencies that you utilize in these environments. This is essentially what it is. It all works all of it really feels like it works on an energetic level, right?
It's something that you can't see. So frequencies, vibrations, light. There's our life is actually influenced by so many invisible factors, and there are more invisible factors than visible ones. And invisible as well, it's like different because like right now with science, we know that there are certain electromagnetic fields, but there are certain creatures on the planet, they can actually see these.
Oh,
Yeah, they're because as humans, these things are we did not evolve to see certain things because that was not really good for survival. Right now, if I show you my hand, the light is falling on this matter, right? We saw this in high school. So
right.
you can see this part of my hand,
Yes.
but you can't see this part of my hand. But is it not there?
It exists,
It
right?
exists, right? So they're following the same concept. We can only see what light touches and it reflects back, but we can't see something that passes, which light passes through. And there are multiple things that light passes through, which also exists in this planet.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So nowadays, like I feel like one of the most popular things is the wearables. Everybody has a Whoop or an Aura, or there you go, there you go. So what would be, I mean, I feel like you somewhat answered it earlier. What would be the more important thing to track? Like, is it worth tracking or is it a distraction? Like all of these
Yeah,
tools.
there are so many tools out there. I think it's just like for the average person, if you're, I have had a Whoop, I have had an Aura, I have had multiple devices. One of the important things that you need to track is your HRV, like I mentioned earlier, okay, your sleep as well. Apart from that, your resting heart rate. When we consume compounds which are stimulating, this could be caffeine, this could be theobromine that comes from dark chocolate or chocolate, it could be theophylline, which comes from tea. It usually stimulates our body and our heart rate increases. The moment our heart rate increases, for some time is good, intermittently is good. When you exercise, your heart rate increases, but then it should come down. And when your heart rate goes lower, you also breathe less. And if you look at ancient yogic science, by the way, this is a whole new world of
That's a
science.
whole
Yeah,
other,
this is another
yeah.
science. Okay. Really, like sometimes much better than Western science. So in the yogic science, they say that if you breathe a lot, chances are you won't live as long because they believe that the perfect person should not be breathing so much because breathing is also life force. Okay, so you need to understand how to inhale the right amount of life force, how to hold the right amount of life force so the life force is circulating in your body. In traditional yogic practices, they call it prana. In the Chinese practices, they call it chi. In Japan, they call it ki. There are so many different animals or mammals in the world which live for an extraordinary period of time. And if you look at all of them, they don't breathe so much. So, for example, there's a naked mole rat. Same family as like all the other rats, but lives underground.
Right.
Because this rat lives underground, it doesn't get the opportunity to breathe so much of oxygen. Okay, so there's a lot of breath hold involved. And I think it lives like 10 times longer than the others.
That's insane to me
Yes.
because it's always about like breathe deeper and
Breathe deeper, but
everything.
don't breathe fast.
Don't breathe fast.
Don't breathe fast. Take a deep breath, hold it inside. Because everyone talks about oxygen, right?
Right.
And oxygen is such a big thing. We have hyperbaric oxygen therapy, we have
Exactly.
exercise with oxygen therapy, but not a lot of people talk about carbon dioxide, which we think is just like a waste gas. But actually, it does much more than that. When you control your breathing, you actually don't inhale oxygen, but you're releasing a lot of carbon dioxide. And that builds a back pressure to your. Now, it's going to get a bit nerdy.
No,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. So as soon as you take a deep breath, you're not breathing and you're moving or doing something, then there's a lot of back pressure of the carbon dioxide that builds up. This carbon dioxide actually moves through your it's like a signaling mechanism for your red blood cells to dump more oxygen.
Okay.
Yeah. So the oxygen gets detached from the hemoglobin and it dumps more oxygen. So a way to energize and oxygenate your body more is not to breathe a lot, but to hold your breath. This is called the Bohr effect, BOHR. Lots of studies done out of like University of Russia, like a lot of Russian military have been trained to hold their breath.
I was gonna say that I know they trained somebody to hold the. Did you practice holding your breath for long?
Yeah,
For that?
every morning, every morning. It doesn't. So the thing is, like, you don't have to hold it for a very long time. So if you inhale for like, let's do it together, okay?
Okay.
You inhale for 3 seconds, So, and you hold for 4 or 6 seconds. So you don't have to hold for so long. Now I'm talking, so yeah, you can exhale. So it would look like this.
Right.
Yeah, but once you keep on doing it, this is like we're exaggerating this on camera, but like when you're talking, like right now when I'm talking, I'm
You
not
can
breathing a
do
lot.
it. Yeah. It's a lot. It all goes back to really kind of a slowness in a lot of the things that you do, and a lot of intention with it as well. Because even you mentioned we live in a fast-paced environment. Everything is just go go go. Even our breath now is go go go. You're hyperventilating in between meetings, you know. So it's more about like that's the hack to just take a beat, take a minute, and
And you can know it from your resting heart rate.
okay.
So that's a third
So
metric
that's
to
the
track.
wearable thing. You know, there was an interesting story about wearables. There was a woman somewhere in the US where the Aura Ring saved her life because it detected early signs of cancer. Obviously, not directly. It can't give you like an analysis or symptoms, but she would get night sweats whenever she was sleeping. She would get night sweats unexplained. And she'd wake up, she's cold, obviously, because of all the sweat. And it kept recurring and recurring. But when she went to check with all the doctors, there was nothing. Like everything's normal, everything's fine. But because that technology is so good at not analyzing anything new, but understanding your baseline and then tracking any change to it. And it noticed the change in her body temperature, saying, I think the alert was like, you're likely to get ill or high risk of severe illness, something like that. Despite going to many experts, nothing was wrong until much later on a trip. She had a difficult time breathing. And then when she went in there, they told her, we think that this might be linked to cancer. And it was actually like stage 4.
Yeah.
So it was insane to me that device. I know the Aura Ring sales probably, they were through the roof that day.
Thanks for doing that. But the body's always talking.
Yeah.
We just are not in a position to listen. So many, like there are so many people who will not ever wear a Aura Ring or a Whoop, but they're just in tune with their body. So your body is always screaming at you until there comes a point where it screams so loud, and that's the time you end up in the hospital.
In the hospital, yeah. And this is the interesting link between like biohacking and wellness, because you could argue it's very tech, it's very medicine, it doesn't really connect to it, but it really does when you look at that bigger picture of it. When you look at, no, you need to stay tuned into your body, you need to just pace yourself with everything you do and explore something different. Like, right, it is meant to be something that helps you prolong your life that's actually outside of just take 100 medications and you'll be fine. That's kind of the interesting thing when it comes to like biohacking. Like for me, I think for you, it's all about curiosity.
I'm a curious person. We were talking about this off camera as well. Like
Yes.
we share that same thing. We're both curious. And I guess that curiosity has led me to go further than what the average person would. Like where average people draw the line, I'm like, oh, let's
push
jump.
it.
Yeah. Let's go on to the other side. Let's see what it is. But right now, I think the way it's going, it's if I do these experiments, before it was like for my curiosity, but now I do it for other people's curiosity. Meaning, if I can use myself as a guinea pig or, an investigative journalist in a way, and I can go on to the other side and try a few things. I'm not saying that I'll probably succeed in all of the things, but if I can find one or two things that work and I can bring it back and share it with others and someone can benefit from it, that's good news for me.
Yeah. So the C in CJ is curiosity.
Good one.
Is that what's your actual, like, your handle is shift with CJ, but what does the CJ stand for?
CJ stands for Chiranjeev.
Chiranjeev.
You want to know a funny story about that?
Okay.
So now my company Biohacking, we were the first longevity-based biohacking company in the UAE.
Right.
And ever since I was a kid, I was very curious around longevity. So I come from a family of people who are like many diseases in our family line, in our genetic line, right? Because of now I know it's because of poor lifestyle habits, but they didn't know any better. So ever since I was growing up, I used to see certain conditions of my uncles, aunts, grandfathers, grandmothers, and I'll say, I don't want to be like that. Like I want to find a way that I don't end up like this. So I was always like, I want to live for a long time. I want to live for a long time.
Yeah.
And
And the
It
quality life too.
exactly adding more quality to your life. You're right. So only like 4 or 4.5 years ago, someone on a Zoom call made me realize that, do you even know what's the meaning of your name? And that's the time I realized that in Sanskrit, Chiranjeev means longevity or the
Wow.
blessing for like a longer life. And I was like,
It
that
was,
makes
yeah.
sense.
That was your aha
That was
moment.
my aha moment.
Oh my gosh, it's predetermined. It's those patterns, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If we zoom out a little bit
Hmm.
and we're looked into the past and we talked a little bit about the trends that we are seeing nowadays, but what if we are looking into the future of
Hmm.
biohacking? What do you think it would look like in 5, 10 years, especially in a region like the region that we're in, with wellness being in the rise and a lot of people looking to biohacking to improve their life?
Hmm.
What do you think that would look like soon?
So the future for me is very clear. You see, like now you go to offices, and one of the things that your office might have, if you have a big enough office, is a coffee machine, right?
Yes.
The future of every office will be a recovery room where you will have probably a red light therapy, a vibration platform. You'll have some area with like a contrast therapy, sauna, and cold plunge, which the employees can book. Because think about it, the best of the best companies, Google, Apple, they already are jumping on this trend.
True.
They do it because they know a slight investment or slight
Yes.
planning in their employees' health can give them like 10x return.
True.
So the science is pretty clear. Now, I think UAE is going to become the longevity hub of the world. It's already moving in that direction. We have some of the best longevity minds over here. People from Silicon Valley flying here to start longevity businesses. So that is evident, 100%. So it will be very common for you to see every gym have a hyperbaric chamber. Like this will be just the basics. Talking about wearables, your wearable data will now be combined with different AIs. And let's say, for example, you spoke about fasting glucose, right?
Right.
You will be able to, in the future, go to any restaurant and calibrate your health data with their menu and get to know based on how you're feeling that day, which dish from the menu is going to be good for you.
Right. So you know how they incorporated like calories, protein,
Calories, how
this.
fast is, what are the kind of carbohydrates, what your total carbohydrate reserve is, what happens when you eat carbohydrates at 6 p.m. Now, let's say, example, you're going for a dinner at 6 versus an 8. So it's going to recommend to you different things.
Oh, I'm pretty excited.
Yes.
That's a cool future because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of the guesswork out and
Mhm.
it could like save lives,
Yeah.
honestly.
We already now have a longevity hotel coming up here in Dubai. I was there the other day. They were giving me a tour and they have like wellness mirrors in every room. So basically, you could go and look at the mirror, and the mirror can tell you, "Hey, listen, I think you need a little bit more hydration. Hey, looks like you didn't sleep so well. Would you like to get a power nap at one of the pod stations?" So there will be places for including like sleep pods
Sleep pods
in every area. So you can just go take a power nap. They have some music. And these pods will already have multiple technologies tagged up.
in it.
PEMF, essential oils, some
Yeah.
black light, red light. So that's the future. That's the future, which is very close.
Yeah. I think so as well. And right now though it can seem quite overwhelming to
Mhm.
someone who's new to this or wants to tackle it but isn't sure
Mhm.
what the right first step is. And there's even like I have like a myth for you to bust. Do you need a lot of money to be
Mhm.
able to biohack?
I get this question all the time.
Yeah.
No, you
The
don't, because
supplements are expensive, CJ.
supplements are expensive, but nature did not design us to have supplements. Supplements fill the gap of what our current soil is not able to do. So I always tell people, don't invest in any gadgets. Make sure that you optimize yourself with the principles or the rules of nature first. Eat clean as much as you can. Sleep on time, wake up on time, do some breath holds, go for a walk, do a bit of movement, be around your friends. Don't work so much. Don't put your neck down all the time with the phone. Like simple things. Hippocrates said, know thyself. So in the whole Greek culture, the one thing that they said is like, just get to know yourself
Yeah.
and you get to know everything.
True.
Because again, back in the day, there was also a lot of noise. there was also a lot of things that were going on. And people 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago had the same question that you're asking me right now.
Today, yes.
In the midst of all these things, how do I do that one or two things that's going to work out for me? And if you look at all the saints, all the sages from the beginning of time, they had some or the other message, which was like, don't look on the outside, look on the inside.
Look on the inside.
Look in the inside, because in is the only way out. So
like
you
that.
figure that, know what you need for yourself. You need to look at your sleep. Okay, no problem. You focus on your sleep. One thing at a time.
Yeah.
No need to rush.
Yeah, don't go buy. So you heard it. Don't go buying the 100 supplements and all the trackers. Check in on
Yeah.
what needs addressing. Like, you can't be sleeping 4 hours and then like, I wonder why. My head is just pounding today.
Actually, the other day I had a friend of mine. So I do jiu-jitsu, right?
Okay.
And one of my friends, he comes to me after jiu-jitsu and he's like, I don't know how you guys come here every day and I can't even like wake up, and it's really early class. And I was like, how are you? So we talk about all of these different things and we're talking about hormones and supplements and all of these things. I was like, maybe you should try to, how long are you sleeping? He's like 5 hours. I was like, oh. It's like, okay, let's cancel everything that we said.
Let's start from the beginning here.
Let's
Yes.
just like add 20 more minutes to your sleep and you will see a 20-minute rise in your sleep, or like 20-minute increase in your sleep is going to make a huge difference. So anyone who's listening right now, if you want to biohack, first thing, add 20 more minutes to your sleep routine if you're undersleeping.
Yeah.
Again, with sleep, it's the same thing. There is a huge study that says people who sleep over 7.5 hours, they're actually at a higher risk of dying from anything than people who sleep less than like 6.5. So
Wait, you sleep more.
you sleep more,
You die harder?
there are more chances of you dying from different things, which we call as all-cause mortality, because there needs to be that magic word, balance. So if you're sleeping too much, that also means your body is not optimal, and basically your body is trying to make up for something. And this is just sometimes, not like every day. If you do it, it's a different thing.
You've also spoken on, as you can see, we've really stalked you here. You've spoken on personalized longevity and like really something where it's more catered to the person, elements that are very individual to the person. Do you think that future is near and what that would look like?
It's already here.
Is it?
It's already here.
It's still general.
One of my old mentors
Okay.
told me, when I would ask him this kind of question, he says, you need to know who to ask,
Oh, okay.
or you need to know where to check. So if you ask me, we have aging clocks tests, we have DNA tests, we have methylation tests, we even have voice scans that can predict how healthy you are. Everything is there.
Okay.
And it's just like everything is now interconnected. You can take your hair samples and see like how fast you're aging. Everything is already here and it's here in Dubai. You just need to know where to check.
Okay. It's almost like when people tell you it's not about the answer, it's about asking that
The right
right
question.
question.
Yeah.
So the future is looking more. We are moving really in that direction where medicine is transforming, and that's the goal. Because I feel like so many mistakes throughout time with people's health, could have been handled with like prevention and the things that you could do before any signs appeared about being in tune and listening to your body. And then aside from that, it's way too general. Like for me, for example, as a woman, a lot of the research out there is dedicated to men. There's not enough about women. So you could be following what is the guide and the rule and what's recommended, but really to me, it's not applicable. It's not useful. So it goes back to the importance of individualized things, like things catered to me, my body, my age, ancestry, what have you.
Look inside.
Look inside is the answer.
Look inside. Look at what 10,000 years of your ancestors have been doing. Look at what they were thriving on. We don't like look at this, but basically, most of us don't know enough information about our grandparents and our great-grandparents. But if you get to know about your uncles, because you're related to them genetically as well, if you get to know what they did in their career, what were their flaws, what were they good at, you can kind of estimate what your future will be like or what you can be good at. We say that we're different, but genetically we're not.
We're not.
So you have 50% of mom's DNA, 50% of dad's. And then you see that gets divided into 25% and 25%. So if you can trace back your family tree and just with questions, how's grandfather like? What did he like to do? When did he get pissed? Like
Understanding
what kind of
that.
thing that he wanted to achieve? And you can see maybe all the people in your family line are overachievers, and then that makes you overachievers. So you can already plan for that.
Yeah. You can be ahead of the game a little bit and
It's
understand where it's
just
going.
again needs curiosity.
It needs curiosity. Okay, so what, as we close off, what's a core principle or belief or a basis that you live by when it comes to that quality of life and that longevity that you would leave the curious people out there with?
I would say don't fall for all the gimmicks and the trends. Just she mentioned a very good thing. Everyone's different. And in science, we call it biochemical individuality. Don't follow the person on Instagram. You can take their advice, but just test it out for yourself. Life is not to be read or liked, it has to be experienced. So I would say go out there, take whatever you have, and experience it. That's it.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us today, CJ.
My pleasure.
It was very insightful. I know I have so many mental notes. And I'm going to ask you
We
about
can
those
do off
grounding
camera.
mats. Yes, off camera, I'll be like, yes, where are the links? Where do we get the ground from?
Yeah. We can actually put, if you guys would like, we can you guys can send me some of the questions and we can like answer them or put links to them, so everyone, when the episode comes out, they can get an easy link to things.
I can imagine there would be so many questions. Okay, deal. We
Let's
could do
do it.
that. All right, CJ, at the end of it, this is your moment. Anything you want to plug, your Instagram, whatever it is, tell the people where they can find you and where they can send these questions.
So if you want to know more about health, wellness, longevity, then I have a podcast. It's called Shift with CJ. We also have over 600 videos on YouTube where we are giving access to free information. If you want to try some of the tools that we've been working for over so many years now, that's at biohacken.com, BIOHACKN. And yes, I'm so grateful for you to invite me here and so I could
course.
connect with everyone. Thank
All
you,
right.
everyone. Have a blessed day.
Thank you all for joining us on Kayan Frequency. Stay tuned for more insightful conversations and stay grounded.